how did Alert first start?
Well, basically, Alert is just birthed out of a passion to use the arts for the gospel specifically for the kingdom of God through Jesus Christ, and minister that news to the world, doing it creatively and with quality. It was birthed with just me and Lopez after a lot of experience through in the past using music for Christ and with the hope of Christ, ministering that to the world. After Berto, we just continue to work on an album, the one that's out right now, that's titled Alert, the Boogaloo album. And we were just working on music, just had peace, just to keep using the arts. We kind of stepped away from the industry path that Berto was on, even though Berto would minister as well. It was a great 5 years, but we just wanted to have a ministry that uses music and the arts, graphic design, whatever else the way God has gifted us for, and anybody else within a camp, within Chicago, within our network, to create an umbrella of artists who will use the arts, powered by the Spirit of God, to reach a lost world. We are really weary about making it our own thing. We don't want to just pursue this strategy to this or that, or achieve this. We really say, God, just use us as you want. So that's kind of how it was birthed. And after a few months, the album came out. This brother started laying down guitars on the album. After we met at Starbucks, he was on my heart. So I said, hey, let's meet. He's a really talented guitar player. But the main thing that Alert does when we get together is prayer.
What do you see God doing through Alert within this next year?
The biggest thing I can say is what God is doing is forming partnerships and brotherhood and a community of like-minded people, artists, leaders, pastors, teachers, etc. That really have a passion for reaching the city first, and then globally through arts. And that's the biggest thing I think I've seen him do since we kind of launched it last year. Bringing a lot of people together who are like minds and like passions now more than ever. Whether it be leaders, teachers, organizers, and other artists. And it's honestly a major answer to prayer. And whatnot. So he's been faithful in it. It's been amazing. But this year, now more than ever, it's building partnerships, brotherhood, and communicating his vision to other people and getting them on board. So it's not just us. It'll eventually be, very soon, I believe, a massive movement.
AJ, how does it feel to be part of the Alert movement?
It's almost an honor. I mean, to be a part of a group of guys that truly put God first in everything we do. I mean, like Stellan said, before music, he mentioned music, but it was all about prayer. It was all about building each other up. It was about having spiritual conversations. It was about so much more about. It helped me out. I mean, spiritually. And then after we get to the prayer, after we get to all the, putting God and all that, then we get to the music. But it was always about putting God first, and it was just amazing to be a part of something like that you don't see in the music industry. You don't see, probably not even in most churches. There's not a group of men just building each other up and not being afraid to just be transparent. And that was the big thing about Alert. It was about really just putting Christ first. I mean, there's a lot of artists that quote unquote they do that. They do Christian music. But what's the results of it? What do you see? I mean, who are they reaching? It's all about music. It's all about concerts. So it was much more than that. And being with these guys, it's just amazing.
So how do you want God to use Alert to reach to the masses, to make Jesus popular, since that's part of your vision?
Right.
And how can you help other churches just spur this movement on?
Right. A phrase that I like, I won't speak for everybody, even though we talked about this, but is we're servant musicians. But before you say you're a musician or you're a rapper, you're a singer, a producer, we're servants. So whatever the king says we need to do, we want to do. So, for example, I just went to India. Majority of the time, I wasn't rapping, singing, rocking shows, blah, blah, blah. I was preaching, I was serving, I was praying with people, I was hugging people that were, you know, and it's not me focused, but it's just whatever way we can minister. Now, is there an arts focus? Yeah, we want to do the arts well. Why? Because God has placed them within us to do well, and not to have an interior, an ulterior motive within us, saying, yeah, we use God's name to achieve this purpose and goal. No, Jesus is the goal. Jesus is the goal. And how can that help churches? I mean, one, you got 4 churches represented here, so we want that to impact our local bodies. We're rooted in our local bodies. If you're not impacting your local church, I would ask you, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? If you're touring 365 days a year, man, God bless you. But how are you impacting local? So we want to impact local, like Lopez says, but also foreign. Going to India, going to Kenya, going to wherever God has us to go, you know? The thing is that the music and the show and the CDs and all that, yes, they are tools to minister, but there's something that gets kind of your foot in the door. After that, I mean, through that and then even beyond, we just want the Spirit to move.
Thanks, guys.
Cool, thanks y'all.
Now I got a dime piece, iller than dreams. What's better than love from an infinite king? And getting on a plus, the love of a queen. I declare, there's nothing greater, more to sing. Smooth, come on, let's make the move. Soon, baby, we got to choose.